What is going on, everybody? I am the FDGURU, bringing to you guys a Monday NBA edition of my DFS podcast. We have 11 games on the main slate tonight. A small handful of questionable guys. We'll talk about that in a second. I will be playing the main slate on my website as usual, and the after hours slate on my Dub Club. My Dub Club has a free week right now for everyone. I'll put the link below this video, or you could just use code FREEWEEK when you check out under my profile. You'll get extra non-main slates on there and other bets to test it out. I also just got a message from not a friend, well, I guess we could call him a friend, but a member who used my GPP NFL yesterday and cashed out big time, came in first in the small $33. Yesterday was pretty tough for me overall. I was getting very frustrated watching all the NFL games, but glad to see CD Lamb come in for the GPP lineup and have a huge second half to close out the Sunday main slate. So that was nice to see, because I know overall we didn't have a great day, but at least anyone who rolled out the GPP lineup did some good things. So for injuries tonight on the NBA slate, we have Franz Wagner for the Magic, questionable. We have DeAndre Hunter, who missed last game for the Hawks, questionable. We have, I think Sam Hauser might be questionable. He's missed the last couple of games, not a huge deal at all. Josh Hart is, I think, questionable or probable. I think he's questionable right now. He's questionable with an ankle, 7:30 game. RJ Barrett's questionable. He hasn't been able to get out there yet this season. Jamal Murray is questionable. We saw Pippen was high owned last slate because people thought Morant was going to be out, and he wasn't. And then Pippen comes off the bench, plays only 22 minutes, but crushes for people, 39 fantasy points. We'll have to see what develops over there. He's up to $5,300 now. That might be a tough selling point. Then we have Bradley Beal, who missed last game, questionable as well. So, a few guys questionable. I don't think there's a ton of groundbreaking stuff, but we'll keep an eye out on things as we always do for the NBA slate. We'll get into my value plays as I usually do. One play for each position using FanDuel salaries. Give this video a like and subscribe. Pretty decent slate tonight. 2-game after hours slate. We've had a couple of good slates so far in the after hours to start the year. We also have NFL Monday Night Football. You might have to staple my eyelids open to keep them watching that Giants and Steelers game. Pretty gross Monday Night Football game. I'm glad the new Call of Duty came out, but we have Monday Night Football we'll have to look at too tonight. A lot of stuff going on as we have a busy DFS season. So for point guard, I'm going to look at Jamal Murray. I think he's a little too cheap at $7,300. If you've been playing NBA DFS, he's a guy that is usually in the high 7,000s, if not low 8,000s. This is a great matchup against the Raptors. The only thing that could hurt us here, every other night where there's a handful of games with blowout risk, that is what could hurt us here. The Nuggets are 9-point favorites against the Raptors on the road. However, the Nuggets are 0-2. They just lost at home to a Clippers team without Kawhi Leonard. So they're not exactly, playing well. So I think this game has a much better chance to stay close than not. And if that happens, Jamal Murray is going to play 35 minutes, and he will be a fantasy point per minute guy in this matchup. He hit value last game getting 36. If he's playing 35 to 38 minutes, I'm going to really, really like this spot for Jamal Murray. At only $7,300, he needs 36 fantasy points to hit value. He's a great middle to high tier spend up at point guard tonight. Shooting guard, one of the maybe chalkiest plays on the slate. We'll have to see, but more blowout risk. If this game can stay somewhat close, Blazers and Kings. The Kings are 13-point favorites at home in the night slate. I mean, Anthony Simons is just too cheap. He's a guy kind of like Jamal Murray, priced around the same way. He's usually high 7,000s, if not low 8,000s. He's 6,600. He's coming off of a great game a night ago. He played 32 minutes, 42 fantasy points. A tough opening night against the Warriors, but he's looked great over the last two games. There is some serious concern for a blowout here. 13 points is a big spread, but again, it's still more likely than not we don't see a blowout, because for a guy like Simons not to play in the fourth quarter for the Blazers, it needs to be like a 25-point game. So the spread's 13. It is a little scary, but at the end of the day, we have a better chance of Simons playing normal minutes than not. And if that's the case, he will be projected out for, definitely over a fantasy point per minute, and will look really good at 6,600. Small forward, we're going to get a little cheaper here. A middle tier play. OG Anunoby only 5,500. In the same price tier, I've been looking at a lot of things. A chalky projected play tonight, and I don't love him, is Colin Sexton at 5,500. His minutes are so weird. They bring Jordan Clarkson off the bench. Keontae George, their younger guy, got more minutes a night ago, where Sexton was shooting well from the field and he only played low 20s in minutes, and Keontae George is playing over 30. If I felt good about Sexton playing high 20 minutes or 30 minutes, he would look like a great play at 5,500. For whatever reason, a lot of optimizers and a lot of researching things have Colin Sexton as a chalky popular play tonight, and I don't love it. Maybe on a GPP, he's projected for like 25 fantasy points right now, and he's, he needs 27 at that price. He does have a good upside. If he ends up playing more minutes, he can get 40 to 50 fantasy points. It's just his playing time is too risky. I don't understand why they don't play him more. We'll have to see how, things pan out through more games, because we've only seen 2 games, but keep that in mind. I think Sexton's going to be pretty popular tonight, and I'm not a huge fan of him. I'm only bringing that up because he's the same price as Anunoby at 5,500, and I like Anunoby more. One guy we don't have to worry about playing time is Anunoby. He's going to play low 30s to mid 30s in minutes every single game. Not that I'm banking on it, but if Josh Hart is out, that only helps Anunoby. If Hart's in, so be it. He's still a good play as the starting small forward. Good matchup against the Cavs. Tight spread. 2.5 point favorites are the Knicks at home. I even like Karl Anthony Towns a lot after he had a great second game, but there's a much better center value play we will get into. But 223 over under, good game environment. I like Anunoby to get, a little bit over 25 fantasy points to hit value. He's projected for just over 26. So I don't mind it. A couple of tough games to start, but we all know Anunoby, he plays so much that he has a better chance of running into fantasy points than not. Power forward, I'm going to spend up here. It's not on Wembanyama in this video, but he does have great GPP upside, but he's burnt me over the first 2 games. I picked him both games. They ended up beating the Rockets, and he didn't do much. He scored the ball, but only 7 rebounds. He's probably not going to play a ton of minutes. It doesn't seem like it. I thought he was going to get ramped up a little bit more this year. Maybe they're easing him in, but 30 minutes, when we're spending $11,200, I need my guy playing at least 34 minutes. Good upside here. Needs 56 fantasy points to hit value. Obviously, his ceiling is 70. I think the much safer play here is Anthony Davis for $200 cheaper. Really, really like this Lakers and Suns game tonight in the late window. 4-point spread. Suns are favorited at home, 228.5 over under. Anthony Davis needs 55 fantasy points to hit value. He's the clear-cut number 1 guy on this team. Yes, LeBron's coming off of a great game, but he is, towards the back end of his career. He's still great, but Anthony Davis is the guy on this team. He's in the prime of his career. First 3 games, phenomenal. 72 on the Timberwolves' head. Against Randall and Gobert, tough matchup, and he cooks them. He's played 37 minutes in all 3 games, so if you're comparing him to a guy like Wembanyama, that's 7 more minutes of playing time than Wembanyama. It's just too much of an advantage. Wembanyama is a little bit better by the middle of the season. Probably he's going to be the best fantasy point per minute player in the NBA, but he's not playing enough. Anthony Davis, 37 minutes of Anthony Davis. Give me all of that in a great matchup against the Suns. I don't think Nurkic is going to be able to stop him. They already played the Suns in game 2 of the season. He had 35 points, 58.5 fantasy points. He should be 12K. I really like Anthony Davis as a spend up tonight. He's my favorite spend up. You could look at Jokic. You could look at Towns at center, but we'll use that as a segue into my center play. That's Clint Capella. 5,300. Needs 26 fantasy points at value. He's projected for like 33 tonight. He's only played 21 minutes over the first 3 games of the season because Onyeka Okongwu has been great off the bench. But here's the kicker. Okongwu is sitting tonight with rest. That's huge. Capella's going to start. Over the first 3 games, we haven't been able to lock him in for at least 25 minutes. We can lock him in for at least 25 minutes tonight. And in a matchup against the Wizards, Capella is going to have a great fantasy point per minute projection in this spot. He's been great. Even in the limited time he's seen on the court, he's been a fantasy point per minute, if not more. I really like this spot. Now, the Raptors do have Larry Nance. I still think he's serviceable in the NBA as a backup. They have, I don't think they have anyone else, to be honest. I'm screwing myself up here. I just got really confused. We're on Atlanta. Sorry. So they have Cody Zeller and Barlow are both out too as backup centers. So they really just have Larry Nance and Muhammad Guy. Nance, I'm assuming, although Guy saw 3 minutes last game, maybe a blowout, but they have Nance. I mean, the path to Capella playing 30 minutes tonight looks fantastic because Nance hasn't even gotten any rotational minutes yet. Capella, by far, not only the best center value play on this slate with Noah Okongwu against the Wizards. He's at home. He might be the best value play overall on the slate. So give me Capella, and that'll round out our 5 value plays on this slate. Give this video a like, subscribe, get over my website for main slate lineups. Let's cook over there for the NBA main and NFL Monday Night Football single game slate. And until next time, guys, I am the FD Guru. Peace.